Commissioner Stefeli, Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner O'Day, Commissioner Rodriguez,
Here by Zoom.
Commissioner Walker,
For a couple of months.
Chairman Romano.
Here.
Please stand to salute the flag.
Hi.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
While we sit, please, can we have a moment of silence for one of our outstanding corrections officers who served over 30 years and suddenly passed away? That's Cecilia Williams. And to our dear friend who supplied this board with food on many occasions and just someone that everybody loved, Carmine.
Now, just would like to add Hudson County Sheriff Officer Justin Rivera. I had the opportunity to meet Justin when he was in the 8th grade at Woodrow Wilson School, when I was the assistant principal there, and felt very strong relationship. Never met a more disciplined, polished, classy young man. Rest in peace, Justin.
Amen. Thank you. Madam Clerk, the first thing we'll do is
Pardon me?
we'll do CASA.
We have a proclamation to honor and commend Beth Savage on his retirement.
Her retirement.
Pardon me?
Her retirement.
Her retirement. Oh, this is an error. Whereas Beth Savage has served with unwavering dedication, passion, and purpose as the Executive Director of Court-Appointed Special Advocates, CASA of Hudson County. And whereas throughout her distinguished years of service, Beth Savage has worked tirelessly to ensure that children in foster care across Hudson County are seen, heard, and supported through some of the most vulnerable and formative moments of their lives. And whereas under Bev's exceptional leadership, CASA of Hudson County has expanded its reach, strengthened vital community partnerships, and steadfastly held its mission to ensure that every child who needed an advocate had one, a powerful statement to Bev's strategic vision and deep commitment to equity and justice. Whereas Bev's tireless advocacy, integrity, and compassion have inspired generations of volunteers, board leaders, and community partners, leaving a lasting legacy that will continue to uplift and protect children and families for years to come. As Bev Savage embarks upon a well-earned retirement, her indelible contributions to our community will not be forgotten, and her leadership will continue to resonate within the work and spirit of CASA and beyond. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Hudson County Board of Commissioners that this board does hereby commend and thank Beth Savage for her service, leadership, and enduring commitment to the children and families of Hudson County. We honor her dedication and extend our heartfelt wishes for joy, fulfillment, and continued inspiration in her next chapter of life. I, Carol Jean Doyle, Clerk of the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Hudson in the state of New Jersey, do hereby certify the above proclamation and has been authorized and sponsored by Chairman Anthony L. Romano, Jr.
By the board, and then have any commission comment.
Commissioner Pontilivski,
Aye.
Commissioner Basleys, Commissioner Cedeno,
Yes.
Commissioner Stefeli,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Chairman Romano.
Make that board as a whole. Understand?
Okay.
I guess we all know. Bill, you want to say something about Beth? Okay. Okay, come on up, Beth. Would you say a few words, like over there, the mic? Yeah, Beth. go ahead. Mike's right.
I'm sorry, excuse me. Thank you very much for this honor. I loved working for CASA and helping kids in foster care. It was my life. And while the work was very, very difficult, the situations were very challenging, the kids faced heartbreaking circumstances, they were always wonderful kids. And there's so many wonderful kids in Hudson County, as you know. I think I was just sharing with Commissioner Walker, he knows many of the families and many of the people involved in the system, but we can't talk about that because confidentiality is very important. But there are many, many brave young kids here and many wonderful volunteers who are helping them. I did this for 20 years. I worked alongside community development, first with Susan Mearns back in 2005, and now continuing with Doris Toon. And the county has been very good to CASA. Every single year we have been funded, and it's made a big, big difference. So I want to thank you for that, for your support and for your continuing good work, because boy, there are lots of challenges out there. Thank you so much for this honor.
Thank you. Yes, come up for a photo. Come up for a photo with the commissioners.
You want to go first?
Are you gonna get like in the way?
Stuff that way.
Yeah.
Get her under the emblem stick. Get her under the emblem. To the left, get her under the emblem, that center, a little more, a little more. Good enough, let me see if I can get everybody in this. Done it, Tiffany?
Yeah.
Madam Clerk.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as follows. Posting notice of Resolution 801-2025 on County Commissioners Bulletin Board, first floor, Administration Building Annex, Jersey City, New Jersey. Copies of the above mentioned resolution have been sent to the county clerk and the editors of the Kearney Observer and the Star Ledger. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the caucus meeting of May 6, 2025, closed sessions, there were 3 of them, May 6, 2025, regular meeting of May 8th, 2025, the caucus meeting of May 20th, 2025, and the regular meeting of May 22nd, 2025.
Lipsky and Cedeno. Also, before we proceed, Madam Clerk, the resolution with regards to the training center is being held, I guess. Does anybody know about that?
Number resolution is
The
What number
renaming
is that
of-
one?
The renaming. of the training
resolution
center,
1,
Bill Pasquale.
because you're gonna
Oh, that's-
have
I-
cars come or something.
Is there?
Chairman, I think that's being presented at an event.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, continue then.
You're welcome.
Could,
I'm sorry,
you
Commissioner.
know when that event
Yeah.
is? I
Jenny?
think having worked on the late congressman's first election for mayor of Patterson, I would probably like to go to the event. So
Do you know when that is, Jenny?
I'm looking,
Board, no, the ceremony renaming the training center in honor of late Congressman Pasquale?
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, thank
There's
you.
no
you
date
just
yet.
make sure you let
Let
us
us
know.
know.
Yeah, when they pick the date, which is wait till the family all coordinates. It's gonna take a little while, but yeah, yeah.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Ponti-Lipska, this is on the minutes. Commissioner Basleys.
Yes.
Commissioner Cedeno.
Yes.
Commissioner Sefeli.
Al?
Yes,
Commissioner Lopez. Commissioner O'Day.
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Yes.
Commissioner Walker.
Yes.
Chairman Romano.
Yes.
The next order of business is additional discussion on today's agenda, and I turn it over to our County Administrator, Abe.
Abe?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I have one resolution for the board's consideration. It's a resolution urging the state legislature and governor to appropriate in the state of New Jersey's fiscal year 2026 budget state aid to the town of Secaucus to offset the increase of county taxes.
I need a sponsor.
I would move it.
Well, defer, we'll defer to Al. and
Sea
Bob-
caucus to
Bob.
Al and
Bob,
Little slowness switch them.
Okay, that will be,
Like,
go ahead.
I'd like to thank the county executive and the board, as representing part of Sea Caucus. This hopefully will help.
That's resolution 21. Commissioner Pontilivski,
Aye.
Commissioner Basleys,
Yes.
Commissioner Cedeno,
Yes.
Commissioner Sefeli,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yeah.
Commissioner O'Day,
Yeah.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
yes,
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Chairman Romano.
Yes,
That's all the items that I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
this resolution is,
I have a resolution, resolution number 22. It's supporting New Jersey State Bill number S 3302, banning employees from holding mandatory captive audience meetings for their workers.
Sponsor.
Second.
O'Day, Lipsky.
Commissioner Pontilivski,
Aye.
Commissioner Basleys,
Yes.
Commissioner Cedeno,
Yes.
Commissioner Sefeli,
Yes, I don't want to be captive of any audience. Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yeah.
Commissioner O'Day,
And that's what the folks in the audience often say when you talk for a little too long now. I vote aye.
You ought to know about people who talk too long.
Yeah, you got me beat lately.
Yeah.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
yes,
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Chairman Romano.
Yes,
According to the policy set by the Board of County Commissioners, members of the public are asked to limit their comments to 5 minutes when discussing agenda items and 3 minutes at the conclusion of the meeting for persons who submitted a written request to discuss matters of public interest. At this time, the public may address the board on any item on the agenda only. Please keep your comments limited to 5 minutes. Are there any speakers on the agenda items only?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Just had a quick question regarding, apologies. Mark Bloomberg from West New York. It's been a while since I've done this. I just had a question regarding resolution number 9 and a follow-up administrative question related to it. And apologies, you asked me if I had anything about Braddock Park. So I was just curious. So number 9 is a grant from 2023 for $500,000. I was just curious what the safety improvements are and if this money's been spent already. So that's the meat of the question. The follow-up administrative is I'm just kind of curious why the entire meeting agenda, inclusive of the entirety of these resolutions, isn't made available after these meetings, so that if a member of the public, after the meeting is over, rather than seeing the 2 or 3 line bullet item, could actually see the 3-page resolution for all of these items in their entirety, just to create more transparency.
A no-brainer.
yeah, is that, answer that.
So,
They're posted on a
Yeah,
webpage.
they're posted on the webpage.
yeah, am I,
Post the law doesn't matter. Post it.
And the agenda is posted.
Posted.
but I think what the speaker is asking is if let's hypothetically, there's 30 resolutions for proposed adoption on the agenda, but 28 maybe get approved because maybe 1 or 2 were tabled, or maybe some were negative votes, or some may be modified. Is the speaker looking for, after the meeting, do we post the final approved resolutions in their final form on our website? Is that what it is?
Oh.
Or no, that's correct. So
Okay.
the meeting agenda is published in advance, but
Post agenda.
right.
But that's not necessarily the final approved resolutions, because they could have been withdrawn, they could have been amended. Is that the question?
The question just basically it's around creating transparency. I understand in advance, it's very difficult to essentially what's going to get approved, what isn't, things aren't in their final form. If there's something that really interests me, I can send a request in. Sometimes it has to be an Oprah. It's a sloppy process. But what I'm saying is afterwards, can we just memorialize these things in their entirety, right? The agenda's already up there online, but each one of these bullet items has like 3 or 4 pages behind it to let us know what it actually is that got passed.
Okay.
So,
What do we
but
do
so
with
so
that,
that's
Carol?
one
Go
part,
ahead,
but
Carol.
the first part of the question was, what is number 9? What were the safety improvements? Even after reading the 3 pages, we're just saying, oh, we've got $500,000. Has the money been spent yet?
Jonathan? is
And
that you?
what was it for, or
Tom.
what will it be for?
Tom Malavasi, want to answer? No?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
That would be
Tom.
Tom Malavasi.
Yeah, right.
But the money has not been spent.
Okay. So we have, oh, we're getting an answer?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Yes. Just give him a chance to get.
Okay, no worries.
That was the obstacle course, sorry.
Hello.
Being here. The county received a $500,000 congressional appropriation to help offset the cost of a roundabout in Braddock Park.
The pre-existing roundabout.
No, the one up off of Bull, the one that first one you come to, first intersection you come to off of Bergen Line. There was a deck there, so we were looking at safety improvements for that intersection. So we talked about a roundabout there. We also are doing a project to construct now 2 roundabouts there, one there and one at the triangle through the NJTPA. The NJTPA asked us not to mix the funding. So we went back to HUD, who's paying for that project, and asked if we can do safety improvements elsewhere in the park. So off of Main Drive, we are going to improve Main Drive South. It'll include some bump outs, some edge lines, rumble strips, new crosswalks.
Bike lanes?
It's not room for a bike lane.
Yeah,
there,
you should
but it'll
consider
have a
in-
shoulder as wide as we can make it.
in your master plan, you should look at what was done in Lincoln Park, where they've made many of the roadways one way. If you do a traffic study, you'll see that the majority of traffic is just passed through the park. And if you put in more traffic deadening things, reduce the width of the road, and potentially make it one way and put in bike lanes, so things to consider. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just for the record, 4 bike lanes were ever popular. I was the guy who stood up to get those bike lanes done in Lincoln Park many years ago, when Kara Habowski came to a meeting and convinced me the importance of it.
Yeah, let's continue them in
No,
Braddock
that's what
Park
I'm
as
saying.
well.
No, and it's
Yeah.
worked well. The fact, when it was gonna be done, people panicked. It was the end of the world. How'd you get to the casino in the park, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
20 years later, or more, it worked, and it works very well.
Yeah, and today, if you're driving in that area, your GPS directs you through the park rather than around it as the fastest way to get anywhere, which isn't the purpose of a park.
No,
So-
and the other part of that was, before that was there, that was the through way to get from West Side to 440. Because you could go up, go to the left, and it's a 2-minute thing. So it helped didn't eliminate it, but it definitely alleviated that as a throughway, which you don't want a park to be a throughway.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Bloomberg has asked for backup, so on some of the resolutions and ordinances per our conversation. So does that have to be Oprah?
Gloria?
That would be my opinion, Chairman.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
you.
Are there any other speakers
On agenda?
on the agenda only? There being none? May I have a motion to approve all the items listed on the consent agenda? And a second?
Motion.
Go ahead.
Commissioner Pontilivski,
Aye.
Commissioner Basleys, Commissioner Cedeno,
Yes.
Commissioner Sefeli,
Go ahead.
Al?
Al,
Oh.
on the agenda.
Yes, can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner O'Day,
Yeah.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Chairman Romano.
Yes.
We have three ordinances for introduction. Ordinance 1 is an ordinance rescinding ordinance number 2070-4-2024 and eliminating a parking space for people with disabilities at 2749 JFK Boulevard in Jersey City for Castor C. Madagascan. May I have a roll call?
Go ahead.
Commissioner Pontilivski,
Aye.
Commissioner Basleys, Commissioner Cedeno,
Yes.
Commissioner Sefeli,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Chairman Romano.
Yes.
The ordinance been introduced. Ordinance 2, it's ordinance amending Chapter 200, Article 8.11 of the Administrative Code to establish a restricted parking space on John F. Kennedy Boulevard, City of Bayonne, for Gregory J. Bork. Commissioner Pontilivski, Commissioner Basleys, Commissioner Cedeno,
Yes.
Commissioner Sefeli. Commissioner Sefeli, Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Chairman Romano. The
Yes.
ordinance has been introduced. Third ordinance is amending Chapter 200, Article 27 of the Administrative Code to establish traffic calming devices, delineators, and rumble strips, and Article 15 providing for the installation of a no U-turn signs on Newark, Jersey City Turnpike in the town of Kearney. Commissioner Pontilivski,
Aye.
Commissioner Basleys, Commissioner Cedeno,
Yes.
Commissioner Sefeli,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez, Commissioner O'Day,
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Chairman Romano.
Yes.
The ordinance has been introduced. We have one ordinance for a second reading. This is bond ordinance providing for various 2025 park improvements by and in the county of Hudson, state of New Jersey, appropriating $22,661,740, therefore including state grants received or expected to be received in the aggregate amount of $3,099,000 and authorizing the issuance of $18,631,180 bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof. This is the time fixed for the public hearing of this ordinance, which was introduced at the meeting of May 22nd, 2025, advertised as required by law, together with a notice of hearing for this time. It's been posted on the County Commissioners Bulletin Board and made available to the general public. Are there any speakers on this ordinance?
Oh, no.
We have a speaker.
I'm aiming for the trifecta today. Mark Bloomberg. So first, again, I'll start with the administrative part of this. I'm curious to know why I have to file an OPR request to get the full contents of an ordinance that's going to be publicly discussed. Again, that should be published in advance and then available in perpetuity afterwards, after it's been passed, or if it hasn't been passed, just for the record. Specific to this ordinance, though, for the most part, this is fantastic. I mean, not so great that we have to go out and borrow the money, but what it's going to, all the work in the parks and everything, is wonderful. It's great news for the Braddock Park Nature Trail. Commissioner Basleys, I know we started off pretty far apart on it. We're pretty much close to the same page, so I'm grateful to see that moving forward. Good news that there'll be improvements to the pickleball courts because a lot of folks I know are playing there, and so that's all great. One line item that I was concerned about, though, is that within Braddock Park, there's a line item to refurbish an elevator at the boathouse. Now, the boathouse really isn't a boathouse anymore. It's got some kayaks in it, but it's got two private businesses in it that serve food. The elevator's out of commission. I went there the other day. The only occupant Rumba Cafe that allows folks to use it. Pliables says that's not their space. Rumba Cafe, I offered to purchase food and asked if I could go up to the second floor. They said, it's closed, it's only available for private parties of large sizes on it. So I don't know what the lease agreement says, but if we're paying for an elevator that the general public doesn't have access to, they should be contributing towards it, or perhaps there's something wrong with the lease. But even the staircase going up to it has a velvet rope across it to discourage people from going up there. You know, if it was an environmental center, which it is meant to be originally, and that's a whole nother discussion about, well, if we have all this money to spend on the parks, why can't we support an environmental center? That, I think that ship has sailed at this point. But again, one line item out of 22 million, not worth stopping this bill, most likely. I don't know if you can line item veto it or just investigate further and long-term look at a better resolution to all this, whether it's having them contribute or again, opening that section to the public or something else.
Bloomberg. We need to look at the lease. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what it says, but I don't think it was just restricted.
Yeah.
So we'll look at that.
Yeah, and we spoke briefly before the meeting as well, but again, I wanted to just bring it to the public's attention as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Me and Mark had a chance to talk before the meeting. I did look into the lease. You are correct. There should be no velvet ropes going across that staircase. Should be open to the public. I'm gonna call Rumba as soon as I leave the meeting and explain to them it's gotta be removed. You absolutely have access to it. It's right in the lease agreement. And that's why we are fixing the elevators. You need to have that.
Thanks.
So it is needed.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah, you got it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Point, point of clarification, after the meeting is over, what do we post online?
The agenda, the corrected agenda.
Just the agenda, just this?
Yes.
Why wouldn't we post at a minimum the body of the resolutions and ordinances that we vote on? Why would people have to Oprah that? I understand Oprahing a 20-page backup document. I mean, they're generally 1 to 2 pages. They do provide information. In the case of a budget of a bond like this, it would at least provide a listing of what the projects are.
I don't know.
I mean, I would just, if we need to vote on, I would vote on. I think it's.
But can I ask a question?
Hello, can I ask? I have
Whoa,
my
whoa.
hand up for a
Hold
while.
on. 3 people speaking. Go ahead, Carrie.
I had my hand up before when Mr. Bloomberg was speaking. Is he talking about having minutes posted of the meeting, which would
No,
cover
he's talking
everything?
about on agenda items, what we
Body
vote
of
on.
resolution.
Yeah, minutes of the meeting.
No, resolution, the resolutions themselves.
The backup.
Only resolutions.
Right.
Okay.
Al, go ahead.
When we post the proposed the agenda and the proposed resolutions before the meetings, are the backup documents also attached?
No.
No,
Well, they're not.
no, they're not.
Yeah, well, and that I can see that the speaker has a valid point that I don't know why any citizen would have to Oprah the backups if that's part of our public record, because that's what we go on.
Just post.
I don't know. I understand that. I understand why and I think it's an easy a task to just publish the final resolutions as approved, and maybe they were amended from the first version that was on the agenda. But
We're going to do it. We're going to do it, Al.
We'll do it.
but why would we make the public Oprah all the backups that we have?
No, we're not, Al. It's going to be posted.
All right.
You can post
Okay.
it.
Okay.
We'll do
Continue,
that.
Madam Clerk.
Are there any other speakers on this ordinance? I'd like a motion to close the hearing.
Motion.
in
O'Day
favor?
and Cedeno.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? On the final adoption. Commissioner Pontilivski.
Aye.
Commissioner Basleys. Commissioner Cedeno.
Yes.
Commissioner Sefeli.
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez. Commissioner O'Day,
Yeah.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Walker,
Yes.
Chairman Romano.
Yes,
Ordinance has been adopted.
public portion.
This concludes all the items on the business agenda. Are there any comments from the commissioners?
Yeah, go ahead, Billy.
Yeah, have you, Mr. Administrator, had any conversations with the HCIA since the issue I raised yesterday about the PLAs?
No, Commissioner, I did not get a chance to do that today. I'm sorry.
Could you please make that a priority?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
My
I have a
only,
comment.
go ahead, Al.
With the HCIA again, and it kind of dovetails to the discussion we had about the leases that we entered into with proprietors of facilities in Braddock Park. And maybe Billy knows this better than I, because Lincoln Park, after Billy dies, it's going to be changed from Lincoln Park to O'Day Park. So Lincoln Park, but you know, what's going on with the casino in the park? I mean, we have a lease with them. A, are they current with their lease payments? And B, are they fully operational with respect to the catering, with respect to the a la carte dining? When I spoke to Norman Guerra maybe a month or two ago, I'm not sure what's going on over there. I thought that, and I know there are functions going on, and I know the lease requires them to do certain improvements, and I believe the lease requires that they open up their operations in different phases, like catering and also a la carte open to the public. What's going on there?
Jonathan, can you give Al after the meeting Al, Jonathan, the director of parks, is going to call you after the meeting.
All right, all
Well,
right.
And now, to Jonathan's credit, because I don't take anyone else's ideas and take credit for them. I think he has a
You're
very,
kidding me. What? Can you repeat that?
I never take credit for anyone else's ideas, unlike some
Okay.
people that often run for office. But he has, I think, a very interesting idea and approach for the a la carte, and it's just been a matter, I think, of setting up a meeting with the HCIA and the proprietor to have a discussion. But the idea that he has, I think, is a fantastic. It's a win-win for them. It's a win-win for the community, and it's going to be a win-win for a lot of young people that go to our.
And I think that's a diamond in the rough. I think we need to capitalize on that. I mean, for the first time, I went in and actually played a round of golf across the road. And it would be wonderful if you have golfers going after their round of golf. They could have dinner or lunch or whatever as an a la carte function. But the last time I looked, it wasn't available yet. And I think the lease, I believe, says that they were supposed to implement an a la carte service by now.
Al, Jonathan's going to call you after.
All right. He has my cell phone, my office number or cell phone number.
Yes,
Said he has
got him.
All right, great. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, I just want to say before the public portion, the Councilwoman from Hoboken, Tiffany Fisher is here. It's going to add on to it, but after conversations with the county executive and the different parents in Hoboken, the superintendent of schools, Board of Ed members, we're requesting, Tom, that you pull any improvements to 11th to 12th on Willow until further notice. So that's with the idea that they wanted to do, until there's going to be a community meeting, county executive is going to attend, I will attend. And when we have to open the public portion, Councilwoman Fisher will speak on behalf of a few of the council members. So go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Are there
Hold on,
any-
Jerry wants to say something. Go ahead, Jerry.
Just one thing, the last meeting, we talked a little bit about the Liberty Science Center project. I'm not sure if we received any information in reference to that. I'm getting a lot of questions in the community about, because it's supposed to be a school, but right now they building luxury apartments, high rises, and everybody's questioning that.
Affordable.
And what comes first? I thought the school should come first, right? So I guess the HCIA is in charge of this.
Is that,
Mr. Chairman, I believe an email was sent out
Yeah, they did,
on
Joe.
that.
They did?
It was
Laid
sent,
out
it
what they're
was sent to
trying
the
to do,
entire board.
but in what they laid out, there's significant caveats, and that caveat is if you get these are the dollars that you can get, and if the cost of it is those dollars, okay, we're good to go. If not, we're gonna have to come talk to some people. Is that a fair representation?
Yes, Commissioner.
All right.
Okay, keep Commissioner Walker and
Should
the rest
have,
of the board
I
updated.
think more than that, I think we should do whatever committee the chairman feels is appropriate. We should bring in the HCIA.
Yeah.
And the school
Yes.
to a committee meeting to get a little more detail than that memo laid out. 'Cause
Put
it's
it
a
to public,
significant issue.
public resources on that. Okay.
Everybody talking about.
Okay, continue, Matt.
Are there any comments from the chief of staff to the county executive? None.
Thank you, Jen.
All right, to the public. This is the time for persons who submitted a timely written request to address the board on any matter of public interest. Please remember to limit your comments to 3 minutes. First speaker is Councilwoman Tiffany Fisher.
Yeah, hold, I think council, you wanted to say something or leave it?
Well, at your direction, Chairman, we prepared a short statement to be read into the record prior to speakers on matters of public interest. The Board of County Commissioners is committed to maintaining a meeting environment that is conducive to public discourse, but also one that maintains safety and security from inappropriate or threatening behavior toward members of the public, county employees, as well as elected officials. The chairman reserves the right to ask for the removal from the commissioner chamber of anyone who may present inappropriate language or conduct or threatening behavior at his discretion. Thank you, Chairman.
So the first speaker is Councilwoman Tiffany Fisher.
So I shouldn't swear. That's what you're saying? Okay.
Get emotional.
One very quick thing before I get to the point that Chairman Romano mentioned. If you want to see what we do in Hoboken with our documents, we actually have an online agenda that you can just put everything in link and people can just go and click and see all the backup. You don't have to Oprah. It'll save you a lot of money, responding to Oprah requests. And then it's just really transparent. It's probably just a technology thing. And if you talk to our clerk, they can tell you what technology we use. It's called Acela. So I'm here specifically on the topic Commissioner Romano mentioned. We all want to see improvements on all of our roads. We want to see them safer. We all live in an urban environment with tons and tons of people. Hoboken is one of the most densely populated towns in the country, in the state, et cetera. And on Willow Avenue, which is a county road, we have long awaited improvements that are planned. It's the base of the viaduct. Viaduct is now, goes up and touches Patterson Plank and the roads up in Jersey City. So connecting all of those in a way that is pedestrian friendly, bike friendly is great. But one of the concerns I've always had is when we think about Vision Zero improvements, we can't take a one size fits all approach. We can't take it in places where we are, have so many pedestrians walking around and not every town is the same and not every block within a town is the same, right? And so we often have planners that are well-intended that come forward with ideas that, the books say this would be better if we put a bike lane here, if we made this change here, but it just may not consider the existing conditions. So for example, on Willow Avenue, this one stretch, it's actually two stretches. Commissioner mentioned 11th to 12th, but it's really 11th to 14th. I mean, we're looking at putting a bike lane at the bottom of the viaduct going south that would run directly in front of a grocery store entrance that's very busy, in front of, across a parking garage entrance that's very busy and already dangerous, how cars are turning in and turning out. Then it hits a corner, which is adjacent to our biggest public housing senior building in Hoboken and disabled. It's just filled with seniors and vulnerable population. And then go another 100 feet and you're in front of an elementary school. right? Where little kids are dropped off every day. And like 30% of our special needs kids in Hoboken are dropped off there. And so we're talking about putting a bike lane where we are encouraging bikes to go fast, because that's what bike lanes do. They encourage them to feel safe and go fast across all of these, all of these points where they're potentially going to have conflict with pedestrians, with cars, with kids, with seniors. Like that just makes no sense. So all we're asking is, when we are making these changes, it's really important to consider the very specific conditions that are there, and not solve for a bike lane, but solve for what makes sense for pedestrian safety, bike safety, what optimizes and makes the most sense. So I hope that the county's done a lot of great work. They work very closely with our own staff. We will talk with our own staff, but I just want to come and register that it's not, Vision Zero is not a one size fits all. So thank you for indulging me. Thank you for inviting me, and hopefully we'll see you again. And I didn't swear. So.
Thank you.
The next speaker is
That 1
Raven
second.
Mitchell.
What Tiffany was saying was, there's a Trader Joe's, a senior citizen home that is, as she said, Fox Hill turned into the disabled. Wallace has 700 students in there, and the county exec received many memorandums from different members of the education community and the city government, and that's why we're requesting, Tom, that any changes being done. There was also an incident where a car went over into the schoolyard in that area. So thank you.
It also, just to add, it also has a 126 bus route. It's
Yep.
literally the busiest bus route in the state of New Jersey.
Well, it's an artery from 3
Yeah.
different municipalities into the hospital besides that. So thank you. And
Thanks.
yeah, one other thing with that, Bob.
Question, though.
Also, I've been requested to
Commissioner,
look
can I ask a
into,
question?
yeah, 1 second now. Also looked into Observer Highway. The traffic is completely bottlenecking down. There's been a request, can we restore a lane that was taken away so this traffic can flow instead of it just jamming down there? Please consider and ask the engineers. Al Cifelli and Bobby Basilis, go ahead.
I appreciate the council person's comments, because and Mayor Doyle will appreciate this as well, I believe, that over in our provinces over here in the western part of the county, we don't really have bike lanes. Not that we don't need them, but we don't have them. But my experience is in Manhattan, when I go there for medical reasons often, and I think that the chairman will understand this, where we go on the Upper East Side, you step off the curb, being a New Jerseyan, and you're not overly familiar with bike lanes, maybe, you step off the curb, you take your life in your hands, because those folks riding bikes they're tearing because they believe they're safe, and I understand that, but they are pedaling like crazy, and you step off the curb and you can take your life in your hands because you're not really cognizant of that. So my question is, don't the rules of the road, the traffic rules, the Title 39 rules, don't they abide bicycles? And so that, because my experience is, and I don't mean to throw the bikeless under the bus, no pun intended, but a lot of them don't honor stoplights. They don't honor passing lanes. They just barrel right through. And unfortunately, pedestrians sometimes walk out of medical offices, walk out of their apartments, walk out of stores, and they walk into the bike lanes. They're not thinking of bicycles or scooters, and they can get injured quite rapidly. So I appreciate the council person's comments. So my question is, what, if anything, do we do signage wise or enforcement wise as far as the conduct of the bicycle people that are operating in those lanes? Don't they have to comply with the rules of the road?
The sheriff, Conti, could you answer that one?
But we could, not that we enforce the rules, but trying to stop a bicyclist who doesn't want to stop has a big advantage to get away from us. So it would have to be on a case by case basis.
Well, I don't know if that's a great answer, that we can't catch them. I just want, my first
want
question is,
sheriff
don't they
officers
have to
on-
abide by the rules and the laws?
Yes, they do.
And whenever we can, we would enforce it, in the municipalities, the municipal offices can enforce it as well.
Yeah, well, okay.
Follow Attorney General guidelines when you're trying to, chase somebody on a bicycle or those motorized scooters. It would cause more of a problem and a danger to everybody.
So they can just get away with it then?
No, they
Is
don't
that-
get away with it, but they can get away with it most of the time because they have the advantage of what they're operating.
Well, and they don't have insurance either.
No. No.
So if they knock me down when I walk out of my office at 7 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night when it's dark, and I don't have the circumspection to look both ways on the sidewalk, and I get waffled, then it's on me then.
Yeah,
That's correct.
I'm gonna call
So I
you.
agree with the councilwoman. I think we need to have more regulation on that.
Thank you, Al. Go ahead, Bobby.
Tom, how are they? This grant funded?
Yeah. Half grant, the DOT.
It's a grant.
Yeah.
With regards to the grant, we did make sure that all the replanning or reprogramming happens so that way we don't need the grant.
Yes.
Good. Thank you. Next.
So
speaker.
I have a question.
Go ahead,
So
Will.
where are you with the design of it? Have you bid it? Like what's where are you within the process of it? Because we're talking about stopping it, holding it, changing it. But I know that with grants, it's not that easy.
No, we're in design. We had a charrette the other night at the school.
Okay.
There's a public information center scheduled for June 25th.
Okay.
We also, at the request of the school, we're going to set up a special meeting with
In
the
July.
parents over the summer. It'll be, they're looking to advertise it before school ends, so that everybody's still around, but I think that meeting will be over this summer. And it's a similar meeting like another charrette. So all these, you know, I joked the other night that I thought we were going to either run out of Post-its or ink with the number of, there's a lot of comments and a lot of constructive comments, so. I'm
Let me
assuming
ask
it's
you
the
this.
same at the pit,
So on
it's
one
the same at
side,
the charrette.
you're going to put a protected bike lane where there's diagonal parking and force the cars that are diagonal out into the street to protect the bike lane. Then across the street, have another bike lane in front of the school with the buses coming down. Is
Well,
that
without the
correct?
plan in front, my recollection is the bike lane on the diagonal parking side is going to be elevated to be the same as the sidewalk. And the
So-
cars are backing up, so.
So we're having dual bike lanes on that street.
You'll have a bike, presently a bike lane on each side.
What's the
Hopefully with flow
purpose of
traffic.
that?
One each direction,
What-
one south, one north.
south.
It's not a two-way bike track. It's one lane each direction.
So I'm just trying to understand. Was there a design done? Was the design that was previously done submitted as part of the grant application? Was the grant application approved with that design?
There was a concept plan submitted with the grant.
So,
Don't recall off the top of my head exactly what it looked like.
So-
This information came late. I didn't have time to look it all up.
so
I'll
any,
gather all that information.
so any changes to that will require you to resubmit to the funding source?
No.
You can make any you
Well,
can make
it's
any change you want
It
and
calls
not
for
do
a
it.
Bike lane.
Huh?
It calls for a bike lane.
Exactly. So you can't, that was my question. So if you come to the conclusion of eliminating a bike lane, then it will affect
That
your
would be a
grant.
different
Okay.
story.
I think just let people understand what it
Yeah.
is, so they're not misled down the wrong
Right.
path. Okay, that was all.
Okay, next speaker.
Next speaker is Raymond Mitchell.
Not present.
appears Mr. Mitchell is not present.
Then the following speaker will be Sauba Alexander.
Sabora.
Sabora.
Long time.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Sabora Alexander, Hudson County Family Reintegrations Employee, Union President for AFME Local 1697. And I'm here to get some clarity from Appointing Authority Eleanor Gibney. I see that she is in the back to my left. I have been getting numerous complaints about the HSS 3s who took the test and passed it to become a 4. I also see that the Union President for 2306 is in the room. So I sent Eleanor Gibney an email on March 14th as follows. Good afternoon, all. Eleanor, there will be names left on both lists that may or may not be reached before the 3/22/25 expiration date. I am requesting if possible for the county to extend the list for 6 to 12 months as opposed to the few names on the list waiting for the test to be called again. No response. On April 25th, I sent her another email. Good afternoon, all. Eleanor, please advise as to whether you filed to extend the list. Employees are asking. I did inform employees that I would ask. So now here's the thing. We have HSS3s that took this test, passed it. Last year, I was given a list by personnel officer stating that there were going to be 14 supervisors promoted, 7 regular, 7 bilingual. This year, they took the 14 and cut it in half to 7. And then they took the 7 and cut that in half again, which gave me 4 regular and 3 bilingual. The concern is the bilingual list expires this November. So it would have been fair to reach the regulars. Mind you, last year when I took presidency for the local, the next day, which I believe was March 14, 2024, 14 bilinguals were promoted. So there's an unequal balance there. Now, what I would like to know is if Eleanor Gibney can still extend this list because it's not fair to the people that were supposed to be originally promoted from the 7. The list has expired. We're in June now. 2 emails, one in March, one in April, no response. Eleanor Gibney is the appointing authority. She has to do better. She has to do better. We're trusting her. She's the hiring, firing. She does all of that with civil service. But when I have employees questioning me and getting mad at me, I'm going to direct them to her. That's what I'm going to do. She needs to answer this. Because at the end of the day, her hefty 6-figure salary warrants a response. We are doing the work. Without the employees, there is no agency. Without the stats, there is no grants, no funds, no nothing. It is my team, my members that have to prepare reports to give to our superiors, to then give to directors, to then give to the state. So we need to take that into consideration. Now we're in negotiation. I'm not here for that. It's looking like it's going to be good, but Eleanor needs to do better. I'm not going to keep coming here asking Eleanor to respond to something that she chose to accept when she accepted a position.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think it's a natural question to ask when that email was sent, what happened? Did Ms. Gibney respond? Did she send it? Did she send it to someone else within the administration to ask their guidance? Like, I think that's a legitimate question that I'd like to ask Eleanor.
Okay, well, Commissioner O'Day,
Yes.
here is the people that the email went to.
Okay.
Eleanor Gibney, Cheryl Fuller, Abe Anton, Dave Dremela, Donato Batista, Alberico De Piero, Roger Quintana, Frank Mazza, Susan McCurry, Catherine Healy, Bob Knapp.
Okay.
And that was on the 25th, on the 14th of March, and then again on the 25th. Now, I'm also being told that allegedly the 4s that were promoted after the list expired. So I'm trying to figure out how that's working too.
You want to speak, Eleanor, after the meeting to her or now? Okay.
Eleanor Gibney, Personnel Director. I have received numerous emails from Ms. Alexander on a regular basis. I believe I did respond to that email. I will answer that you can't request an extension of a list while there is an eligibility list existing. So a certified list would need to be returned before you can request an extension. And at the time, there was an open list.
Thank you.
She said there was, I didn't hear that. She said it was open who?
At the time, there was
I
an
didn't
open.
hear any of that.
Before it's extended?
Expired.
Excuse me,
The
Commissioner.
list would need to have what happened to it before you could extend
It's
it?
an active certification that the county had requested and would need to be returned with the appointments made before we could request civil service to then extend it again.
So you gotta explain that to me. It's an active list.
We had a certification list that we requested from civil service. We have since made appointments from that list.
Okay.
You couldn't request it to be extended until we had returned the certified list that was active.
And when was that returned?
I'd have to give you, I don't have the date available right now.
Okay, I'm requesting that because she didn't respond to either one of my emails. I have them both here. So she responded, it's stuck in her sent or her drafts. Meaning it did not get transmitted to me.
But so walk that through me. So it gets returned. You know the date, not now, but you can tell me the date it got returned. Then you did request an extension or you couldn't request an extension? What's the next step?
At the time that Ms. Alexander was requesting the extension, we had an active certification that appointments were being made from. So you couldn't request them to
Right.
extend it until we returned the certification list.
Right.
A number of appointments were made based on the vacancies available at the time.
Okay, but so that's happened already.
Correct.
So have you then requested to extend the list?
No, there's no vacancies to fill at this time.
So then you refute the statement from the union president that said the county said they were going to make X amount of appointments and they only made and you're saying that that was never made, or that the county changed their mind and only made a lesser number of appointments?
Commissioner, I will gladly provide you a breakdown of how many appointments were made, how many vacancies there are at the time. I don't have that readily available.
I mean, because the speaker represented that there was representations that there were going to be X amount of positions or vacancies filled. Then that those vacancies were not all filled. And that in one category, maybe they were, right? 7 were made of one, but there's 7 from the other were never made.
Yes.
So I would ask for a written explanation and to share it with the union president as to, was that true? And if it was, why was 7 in one area made, but not 7 in the non-bilingual area made? I guess that would be the question.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Will
Okay,
do. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Next speaker is DK Moore. DK Moore.
Not here. Next speaker.
Next one is William Horan.
Sure.
He can stand, sir, only the person who signed up to speak may speak.
Okay. Hi, my name's Bill Horan, and I'm calling on something about, I read something in the paper a couple of months ago. My house, I guess they want to do eminent domain on Smith Street. There's 3 properties, and my house was not in the article. So 24, 22, and 20 Smith, I guess they want to do eminent domain. I'm 18 Smith. The house is 130 years old.
Can I ask, what city is this in?
Jersey City.
Jersey City.
Okay.
And that, since the 1980s, those houses have been historical status. It's been in literally 5 different news articles. I've gotten calls from people, NJ.com, New York Post. I've never even gotten a letter, but is just curious of what's going on.
That county property?
Well, it's a Hudson
County's
County
going to
improvement.
build a garage. I object to taking the properties. Norman there's been an exchange of some information on it, but I'm against taking them, so I'll defer to the administration to
But
explain.
can I just say, that my house is attached to one house that they want to
Correct.
purchase from the article. I haven't even got a letter. How can you knock one house down, a brick house with a porch, 130 years old? My house would be destroyed.
Abe?
So it's very odd that they didn't want my house. I mean, but I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
Who's the condemning agency? Is it the Improvement Authority? Is it the city? Is
Improvement
it the
Authority.
county?
Yeah, the guy from
Hudson County Improvement Authority.
Yeah, like, you know,
And
that
what's the,
lot
and
that
what's, I'm
Harrison
sorry,
they built,
Mr.
stuff like that.
Rand. I'm sorry, Mr. Rand, I'm just trying to get some facts. So, and what's the public purpose for the eminent domain application?
I didn't even get a letter. I just read
Yeah,
it.
what's the project or what's the?
Project for
I'm
a
talking about.
Answer.
parking.
Let the county answer. It's not-
Abe?
I'm not responding. I can't answer the question.
Alberico?
Who's available from the?
Same here.
Authority?
Well, the Improvement Authority would be the ultimate. But get him here for the next, get him here right away, or get somebody on the phone.
Chairman, how's it Chairman?
Mike O'Connor's on.
Chairman, yeah, he's raising his hand.
Go ahead, Mike. Mike?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Terrific. Okay, so, yeah, in fact, this is property that's adjacent to existing parking lots at 830 Bergen Avenue, the Bergen Center complex. And in fact, the Improvement Authority, the county administration has discussed with the Improvement Authority over a period of time the reconfiguration of the parking lots. And specifically, there's one property that is surrounded by these parking lots on three sides. That's 24 Smith Street. So in consultation with the county administration, I think believe three different properties. And the individual that's speaking is correct. 18, I believe, which he said he is the owner and occupant of, was not included in the condemnation authorization. And in fact, the Board of Commissioners did approve the request to proceed with acquisition of these properties back, I believe it was in November. So the board was apprised of it at that time and did actually approve that through the process that's necessary for the Improvement Authority to acquire property in this way. So, and I believe subsequently in an inquiry that was in an email chain, I think Commissioner O'Day was on this. I think I'm sure Abe Anton was on it. There was an inquiry about this at a previous meeting, I believe, and I believe it was the county executive himself who stated that in fact an intention here is whatever's done with these properties, and all of them may not be acquired, is to configure ultimately and have an opportunity for not just to reconfigure the parking, but for a significant affordable housing opportunity there. So that's what this is. And I understand the person who's speaking, what his concerns are, and we would certainly like to talk to him. You know, we're right across the street, so we can arrange to do that. I understand what his concerns are, and you know, we may be able to alleviate some of them.
Okay, can we have
So that's what the process is.
Michael, can you?
Can I ask a question?
1 second, Al. Michael, can you ensure that you have that he has your contact numbers to get this discussed?
You know what? And I'm doing this remotely, but if we're right across the street, so we're at 830 Bergen Avenue, sir. So if you just come in and they'll direct you up to me. I'll be here tomorrow. I have a meeting in the morning, but I'll certainly be here at 11, and I'll be here till 2 or 1:30.
Tomorrow works for Mr. Haran at 11, please.
No, it doesn't work for me.
Oh, doesn't
All
work.
right, so you know what, Mr. Haran, I'll stop by. I'll leave my information on your door tomorrow morning, so you'll be able to call me on my cell and email me and talk to me. Absolutely. All right.
Can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
Since the 1980s, those houses had historical status by Jersey City. I'm just curious, does that mean anything?
I can't answer for that.
Very well.
We
Can I
can
ask a
discuss that
question?
also. I mean, everybody's concerns about this are, you know, we appreciate, and this is at the start of a process. And so I think you know the property I'm talking about, the one that's in the back that's surrounded by the parking lots, the house that's separate.
The owner is here and he just raised his hand.
The owner's here.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Go
now?
ahead, Al.
Yeah, well, Mr. Haran and Mike O'Connor, yeah, I mean, eminent domain is a very specialized statutory process. And you have to, the condemnor, which would be the county or the city, whoever, I guess it's the county in this instance, it has to follow a very specific route in doing this. They have to negotiate with the property owner. They have to establish that there's a public purpose for the taking. Then they have to establish what a price is. They have an obligation to negotiate in good faith for a value. They have an obligation to discuss separation damages. And the owner has a right to a jury trial, actually. And there's a possible litigation with commissioners that are appointed by the Superior Court. It's a very involved process. So, but the problem is when you float out an idea or it gets out to be a public a public message or a public information that some property, whether it's Mr. Rand's or anybody's property, is being scrutinized as part of a possible eminent domain project, that can have drastic consequences on the market value of that property. And so, to be fair to the property owners, there's a process in place that has to go through, dot the i's and cross the t's. So let's get this done. I mean, this isn't fair to the property owner.
But we have a bigger question, which is if these properties are part of a historic district.
That's another question. You're absolutely right, Bill. That's another overlay.
They have received the historic designation.
They may be immune from eminent domain then. I don't know.
Right, through the city of Jersey City,
Yeah.
whereby prohibiting their demolition, then why the hell would we be wasting?
You're
any
absolutely
time?
right. Why are we waiting?
should-
You're absolutely right.
Before we do anything, it's really not that difficult to do that level of research. Has those properties been listed or designated by the city of Jersey City as historic, and as such, are they
They be
either
protected.
unable to be demoed? Would you have to go get the approval of SHPO, which is a state historic preservation office?
Absolutely right.
Be able to do it like let's do all of that. And quite frankly, that should be done before you even initiate the process and vote on it, because a lot of time and effort is wasted. And then the second point to make, to piggyback on what Al Cifelli said, there's a significant chilling effect the minute you start this process. The first aspect of the chilling effect is good luck trying to sell your property.
Exactly.
No
You got
one
a cloud over it.
no one can buy your property. And secondly, because of the cloud over it. And secondly, depending how the process plays out, at some point in the process, government gets to deposit an amount of money in a bank and take your property.
They can file a
And-
declaration of taking and they own it at that point.
With everything that Al said, courts and hearings and all of that, I've seen it occur when the person's no longer in that property because they dispute what value through that other aspects of the negotiation that the commissioner spoke about. So there's significant things when you come to taking a property. But if these properties are historic and there's an issue as to whether you can demolish them, don't even wait. What are we wasting our time? Let's just
Be a non-starter. Let's get something from SHPO that says that.
correct.
Yeah, Bill's right.
Could I say one more thing? I spoke with Maggie O'Neill. I believe she's the historical director of Jersey City.
Right.
And she told me this months ago. Just when I read the article, I got calls from people. My house wasn't included. It was in the New York Post. It was in NJ.com. There was an ex-Jersey Journal writer who used to live in the house next door. Dominic Colicchio. Do you remember that name?
Oh, wait,
Dominic wrote he's a
Stop,
freelance writer
stop.
now.
Jeremy.
All right.
And he was sitting on the porch at 20 Smith Street.
Time's expired, sir.
And I'm like, what's going on?
Well, if you could get a letter from the person from the city historic office that says this is the designation that it's received, and that designation precludes demolition, game over, in my opinion.
Yep. And
Okay,
Michael,
thank
Got
you.
a clearance from SHPO. Yeah.
Michael, make sure you meet with Mr. Haran tomorrow to try to straighten things out here.
I'll stop
And
by.
should
his
I have
store. I'll
Maggie
give him my contact
somebody?
information.
You deal with Maggie on your own, and then
Okay.
with Michael tomorrow, and then let us know.
All right, Mr. Haran, I'll stop by. I'll leave my card for you, all right?
Thank you, Michael. Go ahead, Michael, ensure and get back to the board.
Yeah, well, with the county administration, and the county administration is aware of this. I'm not sure about Abe, but certainly Dave Drumler. We worked on this.
Just find out if
for a
it's
while.
historical. That's what the board wants to know.
And I don't have any question that what Mr. Haran said about it being in a historic district is true. I can't say, and I am not aware.
Just
that
find out.
Specific buildings are,
Just
so we'll
find out.
find out, absolutely.
Continue, Madam Clerk, with the next speaker.
She's at the mic.
I'm sorry?
She's at the mic.
Okay, good. Thank you.
No problem.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Jahira Garcia. I must give you credit, Mr. Romano. You have let a lot of people go over their time today. I'm very proud of you. Good afternoon, Chairman and fellow Commissioners. I'm here once
That's
again.
because Billy O'Day has got to have dialogue with everybody, but go ahead.
Just don't forget when it's my turn. I am here once again today to seek your assistance in addressing the ongoing discrepancies surrounding hazard pay for members of Union Local 2306. While I understand that the county is currently engaged in contract negotiations with our union and that there are limitations on what can be publicly discussed, I must stress that this issue of hazard pay goes beyond the scope of the contract itself. Hazard pay funds were distributed to 2 unions within the facility, yet only 90 members of Local 2306 received the payments. This raises serious concerns about fairness, discrepancy, and equal treatment. I respectfully ask that the board to take action and help us resolve this issue once and for all. On April 2nd, 2025, Mr. Guy issued an executive order that included an inaccurate statement regarding the start and end dates used to determine eligibility for hazard pay. Today, I'm calling out on Mr. Guy to take full accountability for the error and to ensure that all eligible members of Local 2306 receive the hazard pay they rightfully earned. Doing so would set an important example, not only as county executive, but as a leader who stands by his word, honor, integrity, and does what is right for the people he serves. Mr. Guy, I urge you, let's put an end to this ongoing fight. Demonstrate to the public what real leadership looks like. We have been engaged in this battle and peacefully protesting for over 2 months now. And while we are prepared to continue standing up for what's right, I offer you the opportunity to do the same, to stand up for your workers and to prove to the public that you are a man of honesty, fairness, and integrity. May I ask the board, is there any update on the hazard money?
Alberico?
Yes, Chairman. And again, I appreciate the speaker. It's unfortunate that it seems that, again, the updates are not being provided by the representation of the union to their members, because earlier this week, as the board is aware, we had our first conference in litigation. As you were provided the update, I would hope that the same would be afforded to the members of the union. It seems that it has not. We are in litigation. We're taking this very seriously. So is the county executive's office and this board, obviously. And that's all I can say, really, because we're discussing it with council.
So the union president is not funneling the information down to the membership?
As that is my guess from what I'm hearing here today, because again, as chairman, the board got the update as to this week's first event and call with related to this unfair practice charge that was filed, and I'm hoping that they would get the same response.
How can they get from the county the information that the union president is not giving them?
I cannot provide legal advice, but I'm sure that they can ask the questions to the right persons.
Thank you.
And can I say something without getting into the specifics of it? We as a board of commissioners were briefed, as Alberico said a few minutes ago, on Tuesday. I believe we were briefed on an overview of not only the underlying contract negotiations, but also this issue. And based upon information that we have, we as a board, I believe, were encouraged with the possibility that the hazardous pay issue could be resolved in the context of the overall contract negotiations. I don't mean to speak out of turn, but I know that issue is a separate issue that's before PERC right now. But I think there's an arbitration, if I'm not mistaken, scheduled for July, Alberico, on that issue.
Commissioner, the July date is when the next round of documents need to be submitted to PERC. Yeah. And then after that, an arbitration date will be scheduled.
But I think stepping back from that, it was, at least as one commissioner, it was my hope that from that discussion that we had in closed session, that the issue of hazardous pay would hopefully be resolved in the greater context of the labor negotiations. And that's all I think. I hope I haven't overstepped my bounds legally in making those comments, but I think that's my accurate take on it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's correct, Commissioner. I agree with you.
Thank you.
Hopefully we don't get them mixed together because one thing has nothing to do with the other. But that's just one thing that needs to be taken into consideration as well.
Well, I understand that, but sometimes things get resolved.
Okay.
I hate to use this word because it's an overused word. It's like the word that people say transparent. To me, it's an overused word. But I think globally, I would like to think that a lot of or all of the labor issues with the unions involved will be resolved, including this one, very shortly. I was encouraged by the comments that our representatives made to us in closed session
Next
on
week.
Tuesday.
Next speaker.
Mr. Chairman, it's Kalela Daly.
So,
Kalala?
so before the
Wow.
next speaker comes up,
Daly,
Kalala?
yeah, before the speaker, I just
he's
want
not here.
that.
The next speaker then is,
Sorry, I'm sorry. I try not to talk too loud, but if I need to, Mayor, I'll raise my voice. My understanding is that the settlement of the contract and the resolution of retention pay, because that's the terminology used even in the document referenced by the speaker, are separate and distinct. That there is a process that has begun for the resolution of retention pay that involves arbitration, whatever other process that may take place. The resolution of the contract is a document that we have been shared with that hopefully sooner rather than later, and there are a couple of things on the union side that need to be done and taken care of before it can be submitted to the members for a vote. And I think we left the meeting yesterday generally thinking it's a good, I had a couple of questions, but after the answers, good from the employee's perspective of addressing the issue of what we would call, I guess, market analysis. But that resolution of that contract in no way, in my opinion, is settling the issue of retention pay. The retention pay was filed by the union, is going through a process, documents will be provided, arbitration, that process will go through whatever process it goes through. Am I not accurate in saying that?
Commissioner, it's not that you're not accurate, and I respect your opinion. Respectfully, I think it's important to state that the two issues, the answer is that I don't want to upset the fundamental principle of contract negotiations for either side, both the county and the union, because that also touches upon not only legal strategies, but also litigation strategies. So I think that, as Commissioner Cifelli was kind of alluding to, I'll just say this: there is nothing stopping either side to resolve, as in any legal matter, any and all outstanding issues. So even though they are technically two separate issues, that does not stop the county and or the union in negotiating them all at once. And again, I don't want to touch upon the union's counsel's litigation strategies that he or she may have, and also the county here and our Director of Labor Relations, because I know that both sides are definitely working hard. So it is something that would touch upon not only litigation strategy, but I think it could be resolved as anything. You could have a global settlement.
Well, yeah, that's not what I felt was portrayed yesterday. And I think it would be prudent for me to ask my additional questions in a closed session as opposed to an open session, because they may jeopardize some of what your negotiations right now.
And I would always welcome that.
Okay, next speaker.
Mark Bloomberg.
Trifecta is
Mark, yeah, my stats are looking better than Commissioner Walker's. So
that's not easy.
Oh no. I'm perfect from the field today. So all right. I want to invite actually each of you as well as all members of the community this weekend. Hopefully, most of you are aware that there are No Kings protests going on. I think it's particularly important for our elected officials to participate and make their voices heard. One is happening in Jersey City. Another one is happening up in Weehawken. If you just do a search for No Kings online, you will find maps and details. I'm not an organizer of any of these. I'm just sharing information. What I'd also like to just add with that is a reminder to law enforcement, our county sheriff, as well as the local police departments, that these are planned as peaceful protests and that they act accordingly. And just, allow people to voice what they want to voice basically along there. So extremely important really for the public to participate and for elected officials. And then just separating from that and kind of back on the topic of where I've been all day. So regarding being able to speak at these meetings and opening it up to more people. So we have a requirement that people do have to sign up in advance. And so I'm questioning why, if they do that, why can't they also do that remotely? Why can't I be sitting at home today rather than having to fight traffic? It is now 6 o'clock. I parked my car at 4 p.m. There's a 2-hour limit here. So first of all, I had to find parking and get here early. Second of all, I've got to haul out of here to make sure that my car doesn't get towed. So you all have to find a solution, and it's not an either or. You could find parking for us where you reserve the street for us. For commissioners who aren't here, you could offer us their parking spaces. You guys get free parking beneath this building or somewhere nearby. We don't, right? And you can also let us basically just speak from the comfort of our computers. I would much rather be here in person, but there are times where I'm on the road or just the convenience of getting here at 4:30 just isn't reasonable. You guys have done a great job. I mean, it's taken a while for you to start making the meetings available online again, much too long in my opinion, but it's progress. You've got the meeting minutes online, you've got the agendas online, we need to get the ordinances, we need to get the resolutions, we need to open things up, and you need to open things up for the public so that everybody here doesn't have to bust their chops to get here to speak to you and get their voices heard. Thank you.
Next speaker.
My last speaker is Ada Weidman.
Ada.
Yeah, and just as Ada's coming up, so, I think that I'd like to go beyond it, but I think in the short term, figuring a way to get reasonable access to parking in the lot across the street for individuals who come to a meeting is not an unreasonable request, because you're right. It's certainly a chilling factor if there's nowhere to park. So I what can we look into, Denise, as it relates to when there's parking available in the lot across the street? At what time? So
Could you advertise that on the website that tells us
Sure.
what the process
Sure.
is and let folks know?
can we let individuals know that may be attending a meeting that beginning at 4 p.m. the day of the meeting, the lot, and they can identify the lot, will have the arm raised and is available for individuals to park without any penalty.
Yeah, we sent an email to.
Understood.
This time's expired, Chairman.
I asked,
Go ahead, Ada.
Oh, Ada Weidman, good evening. I'm here on behalf, there was a breach of my social security number. During a grievance hearing I had a couple of months ago, it was at the third step, and Miss Eleanor Gibney had to hear it. And in providing you guys the information to the steps, she breached my social security. Now, the information that she presented, not just my information,
Chairman?
other people's information.
I don't want to interrupt the speaker, but
if there's an allegation of some wrongdoing that affects the employee's employment with the county, she has not been riced for this purpose, and we may be entering upon an area that should not be subject for any discussion.
Okay. So advised that it's
So
Af-
what I gotta do, file a court case?
can't
I
advi- I can't
can't
give you legal
inform
advice.
Ms.
I
Gibney
advise the
as
board,
to
not
the
you.
violation?
No,
I
we-
can't do that?
can't discuss. We can't discuss.
Because
it.
you have it as well, Mr. Florio. You
So
have
can
my
we- so
information, my
can we
social
give that
security
person a rice
as
notice?
well.
And then let the speaker come back to the next meeting?
As long as the rights notice is presented within a reasonable time,
The what?
then
The notice that
It-
the government must provide the employee that's going to be.
it would not be your obligation to do that.
Our
That
obligation.
would come from the governing body to the employee, that there may be discussion about circumstances that affect that person's employment with the county. And that person then can seek either a hearing in closed session or an open session.
I
But
mean, we
you
don't-
can't, I'm sorry.
We don't
it
have
would
to
be
do
a-
it here. We could do it in a closed session,
Fine.
but it needs to be done. Because over 40 people it was leaked to. And that puts me in danger.
So I would suggest that we, based on what was brought to our attention today, provide a rice notice. Is that the only employee that you're referencing? Is Eleanor Gibney?
To my knowledge.
All right, that we provide a rice notice to Director
You
Gibney.
said Rice, notice,
Rice,
RICE.
Correct.
Okay.
that we, the county, based on someone saying they were gonna come here to speak about it, provide the rice notice to Ms. Gibney that at the next commissioner meeting, with that date and time, that there may be a discussion related to that individual. And then Ada, you can talk about something else, can't talk about that now, but then at the next meeting, then you will be able to put on the record what you just were looking to put on the record.
And Alberico, I'm assuming that you would handle the, with regards to the employees, any employees mentioned where that
May have
could
to
go.
go in a closed session to do that.
Absolutely.
Right, you can't
Absolutely.
do it out in the
Don't matter
public.
That's
to me.
okay. Just so you
Don't matter to
understand.
me,
But
but it gotta
Just be
be here.
advised, it cannot be done out in open public.
Well, it's up to the person, it's up to that person to decide
The
that.
employee.
Who's getting the notice. The person can
Oh.
make that decision.
Okay,
Okay,
Continue.
thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I have no other people that have signed up. So there being no further business to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn? All in favor?
Lipsky
Aye.
and Daniel, aye.
Opposed? Meeting